Hi, welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I'm Mr. C Critic. How are you doing? Um, we're going through a tough time, tough period in the Nollywood Film Club with the selection of films. We're struggling, um, but we're having fun though. This discussion, like on a few of the spaces, some people have said that this space or the podcast for you guys has have been more interesting than the film. I don't understand that on on a few levels. I think this one's a hard competition though, without spoiling my without spoiling my thoughts on this as will be revealed in the near future. All right. Anyway, but um, the most interesting part of this for me conversation was it'll be in the pushback section where we're essentially having a discussion on the quality, and it's not what you think when you're having a pushback section, and you're talking about quality. Maybe you're thinking someone is going, "Oh, this is so great," and they're like, "No, I don't think it's that great. I think it's kind of bad." This is a different conversation. But anyway, I do hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing Devil in Agbada. All right, so for the people we have, welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We do discuss Nollywood movies every Sunday, 6 p.m. Wat. We will be talking about the greatest movie we saw this week. Actually, it's none of them. None of them. But one of the greatest Nollywood movies we've seen this week. Out of the two, I guess. Um, we're going to be discussing Devil in Agbada. We'll discuss what we liked in the good. We'll discuss what we didn't like in the bad. If we have pushback, we'll discuss our pushbacks, and we'll discuss a summary. If you do want to join us, please request the mic. Anyone can do that, or you can what you call it, just comment underneath the space. All right. I know Angels didn't finish the film. She started it and she chose self-love, which I can't believe. That should really get your Nollywood Film Club membership revoked.
Nobody has self-love.
About choosing self-love over finishing a film at this point in time. But Ainkans is our first speaker. Ainkans, what did you like about Devil in Agbada?
So, I don't know why you're attacking me. I had a very difficult week. And remember what I say, movies have only one function, to entertain. And if it wasn't entertaining, I don't want to be an hypocrite on giving advice that I didn't also follow, you know?
Oh, okay. All right.
So, I want to pick out the first person. What did I like about it? Okay. I will give, I like to be I try to be as honest as I can possibly be. I did not finish the first half of this movie. I did not. So I got
the whole first half.
Wait.
I'm just asking, like, not you didn't finish the first half at all. Like, you didn't reach halfway.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So I passed 30 minutes.
Okay.
35 minutes, and I went to go watch Send That to Heaven, a 1940 something movie that was really, really good. And I tried this morning to watch it again, and I couldn't.
Okay. Well.
So I decided to focus completely on taking care of my grandmother. So, you know, I had other things in life that I had to do. So I chose that one. Okay. With that said, what I like about this movie, and there's always a good thing about a movie, it clearly looked like it had more money than the last movie that we watched. So good thing. It clearly is, there is, what's it? It seems that this person wanted to tell an interesting political story, and good thing. it also seems like it's a movie that wants to say stand up against evil of the powerful and all that stuff. And you know what? That's also a good thing. It's a very common story thing to like have the rich people be hassled and try to stand up to them because that's common around the world. Classism happens. It's the one thing that we all have connected. So good thing. It is. It feels. It is. It has a semblance of a typical political drama. Semblance, and for that semblance, I will say it's a good thing. Uh they got some good actors in it. Now, did those actors act good in the movie? Maybe not, but they got some good actors. Good things. They generally do put out good performances in the past. Not necessarily in this movie, but good thing. Um, clearly, the writer, like some of the dialogue, very stylistic dialogue. Maybe the delivery of that dialogue is off, but like very stylistic writing. At least dialogue, at least what the people say. Good thing. It's not easy to write those type of things. Good. Um, uh, they tried action. There is a lot of changes of scenery. There is music. Good thing. It looks like like this movie looks like if they just changed a few things, if they were just a little bit more patient, a little bit more something, it could actually have been a good movie. But it it mm, it wasn't. But the effort and how am I gonna say it looks like a movie where nobody went out to make a bad movie, but through some unfortunate of luck, time, life, it happens. Sometimes it just happens. It just didn't coalesce together. But effort is effort. Work is work. Maybe I could see some passion in it. And for that, that's a good thing. I'm done.
This is one of the coldest cookings I've ever heard on Nollywood Film Club during the good section. Oh wow.
I thought it was good, right? I wasn't being shady.
Yeah, I know you weren't. That's what made it worse.
Uh,
Oh
We
man.
appreciate you for trying your best.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Laughing behind the mute button. All right. Okay. We're off to quite a start. All right. Vanessa, tell us some of the things you enjoyed about. Agbada, did you like that there were pictures and they were moving?
That will cast some people.
I'm sorry, but
Oyinka said there was grass in the movie and it was very green.
there was plenty of scenery.
Yo, man.
No, I'm so sorry.
I genuinely did like the scene, the changes of scenery.
He
You
said,
we love
you know,
you.
people acted in this movie and they were people. So that was great.
Look,
Actors,
like,
not this movie.
this
What?
time they are
man.
good actors. Like some of the actors in are good actors. They're just not good in this. Like it's just something just didn't happen in the movie. I'm trying to be honest. I'm not being shady.
No, we know. No, Oyinka, I know you're
No,
not. My own is
listen.
if Oyinka, the perpetually positive person on this film club space, is struggling to find good about this.
What
film.
will the rest of us do?
Who am I? What am
Where am I
I?
supposed to start from?
Okay, my good. Let me try. Let me take a borrow a leaf from Oyinka. There was a movie. That's my starting point. Beautiful gowns, great gowns, and I don't mean fashion. I mean beautiful people. The women just beauty, just all over effortless, just flowing. Is it Erica? Beauty. Is it what is her name? The girl from can you come online? What's that her name? Efe. Efe Lele. Beauty. Who is the third girl?
Um, what's her name? Linda Osifo, right?
Exactly. Beauty. Many just beauty just yakpa fully in the film. And I appreciate, the commitment to beautiful people in movies because Why not if not? What again is a good in this film? Oh yeah. What's his name? I Kiloruko Bodaye. Uzo Arukwe's wig / crochet braids. Honorable mention. Because every time it appeared on the screen, I laughed. And I appreciate I appreciate the levity that is why Arukwe's wig / crochet dreads brought to this film. Um, what else was a good? Um, ooh, what else was a good? I It had a beginning, middle, and end. I've tried.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Oh, you can't say all the good. I don't know what you want from me.
All right. Okay. If you have your wonderful list, please do feel free to comment underneath. As we move on to Atas, please tell us some of the things you loved about DIA, otherwise known as Devil in Agbada.
It's Sunday. Did you guys go to church? Because I don't know how I feel about lying today. Like, can we? All right. Well, there was a lot of ambition. I think is probably the best thing anyone can say about this movie. There was a lot of ambition. You can tell, definitely tell that they were definitely going for some girl empowerment, which shout out to the girls. I'm here for girls to act badly, mid, good, whatever. Um, so they were going for that. Sort of like standing up for yourself in your own power, fighting injustice, blah 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 blah. So that could have been an interesting thing. I think the story they were trying to tell could have been an interesting story. The story they told, I don't know, but the story they were trying to tell definitely. Otumba is Otumba. I think he's Otumba in a lot of things at this point. So he was acting. He was acting like an Otumba. Lots of practice. So he actually, if I had to think of one bright spot of acting, it'll probably be him. He definitely felt right at home with that character. Um, Desmond Elliott playing himself as a political idiot who doesn't know what's happening one way or the other. Perfect casting, 10 over 10. I'm sorry, that was just truly hilarious for me. Um, there were lots of beautiful women in this movie. Like, I cannot take that away from them. The dark-skinned lady, I don't remember her name, but she was one of the 3 Charlie's Angels. Stunning woman in that red dress.
Linda,
That dress. So I loved looking at her. I loved seeing her pretend to fight. She was gorgeous. But I think that's really it as far as the things this movie did actually manage to successfully accomplish.
Okay. All right. I actually, Akin Lewis as Otumba, I thought it was dope.
Yeah, Akin Lewis is a trip.
Yeah, I think he had some bangers of lines
He
in
has
this.
experience.
Yeah, he was
playing an
excellent.
Otumba.
Yo,
Like,
you guys.
But there's something about staying in your wheelhouse.
he's
Exactly.
exactly. I agree. Like he stayed in his wheelhouse and he stayed there well. Like he was definitely Otumba. Like definitely that was a political father. Very much.
He was like,
That line where he was like high five.
Like, and then I turned to the guy like, "There's no high five. There's not to high five me or something." I'm like, "What is wrong with this man?" Akin Lewis was a trip. Right. He was a trip.
Okay. Omar, do you want to tell us some of the things you liked about Dia?
Hi guys. I think you guys have mentioned most of the good things I like about this movie. And I think these are our Charlie's Angels. um, I like Akin Louis as the villain. I think he did well. No, not really well, but to the standard of the movie, he did what he had to do. So I think Ife is a beautiful lady. And I kind of like that they um they had to go through a training before they could, carry out the mission. It was not all of a sudden that we discovered they could shoot a gun, they could use a gun, they could fight. So they had to do that. That was a training, kind of in most action movies. So I kind of like that part of the movie. And I like that the characters had the motivations, had their own personal motivation to, to come together and fight. Even though I didn't really like what happened though, but I kind of like that they had each of them had a motivation, to come at the villain. So what else do I like about the movie? I just like the idea. I like the ambition. Like they wanted to do an action movie, something like Charlie's Angel, and I kind of like that they it was fun. Sometimes you would laugh and sometimes you will be like, okay, what's going on? So I think I like the movie was a bit fun for me, actually. So it's okay. That's all I think I can remember about liking the movie.
And so this is all we want for you guys.
Yeah.
Enjoyment.
Exactly.
Fun.
I think me and Almost DJ are definitely on the same page for this. All right. Miss C, what did you like?
See, last week, Vanessa was telling me to turn off my brain and enjoy a young time ago. And I said no. This week, I turned off my brain and had a great time watching Devil in
1 week too late.
This week is the week that deserved turning off my brain to enjoy this film. Like Ota said, Charlie's Angels. But the one in our backyard. Local made, Tesco extra value. I loved it. The babes, beautiful, stunning, beautiful babes. Uzo Arukwe fighting bad guys while looking broody. Personal trainer, hired killer, and part-time therapist. Absolutely brilliant. It was giving premium enjoyment. I loved it. But like on a relatively more serious note, I like that they failed their first attempt because really, who are they? Just women with motivation. So there was that. Akin Lewis was killing it. He was really giving. I know how I feel about Uche Jumbo, but I like seeing her. What else did I like? It really was turn your brain off fun at the end of it. Not obviously not like in a serious way, but I did enjoy it. I do like the idea. I'm not seeing the intention. I'm not seeing the intention. I'm not seeing the intention. I like the idea. There was an idea there. There was some ambition there. There was something behind it that's giving, a lot more could have been something. But yeah, then look, I turned off my brain and I watched Uzarikwe run towards that other guy after they'd both taken their shirts off. No, the other guy took his jacket off, right? And they ran towards each other and there was a blackout. That was brilliant. I was shouting along with it. I was having so much fun. So
Wait.
yeah, go on.
You bought drugs?
Not yet.
Okay.
All right. So this film was, I guess, one of the. First off, I like the name of this film. Just in, for too long, women have been, the woman in the dress. Let us have our devil in Agbada. Yes, it feels right. It feels appropriate. It feels localized. I don't know if this film takes itself particularly seriously. I think sometimes it does, but I think also sometimes it doesn't. But like the way I enjoy some of my Nollywood films is when it almost has this balance where it needs to take itself seriously, because it can't be too much in the joke itself. If not, is what's in it for me. It needs to be part of the joke as well. So it needs to take itself somewhat serious, but it also can't be dry and therefore here is a message we're going to teach you and like we're going to make everything slow paced because we need to direct this message at you and like drama and all of that. So like it gave you action, gave you stunts, it gave you interesting characters dressed in interesting ways. It gave you Uche Jumbo being a was she being a cougar? I don't actually know the age difference between because like she's not really supposed to be. It feels like that guy's it's probably not cougar, but like boy toy kind of thing. But hey, you get Uche Jumbo, the wife of a guy who fools around, fooling around, and like actually making out. Like you don't see that very often in Nollywood movies. It wasn't particularly the best shot, but I blame that on other things. But yeah, and then you get to see you get to see Erica kick ass in heels. That's the kind of thing I mean. Like it does have personality. Whether the personality makes for a good film is a different matter, but in terms of enjoyment, I think I enjoyed it. And I just have to say, Akin's performance for me is actually good. Genuinely, like he's having fun with it. And there's some jokes that don't land well because of the way the script is done. But like when Akin plays, he's just is so much fun and brings actually lightheartedness to such an evil character, which I thought was needed if we were going to enjoy this film. So yeah, that's my good. All right, let's discuss some of the things we did not like about Devil and Agbada, if anybody has any. I can't. All right. What?
Okay. Again, to put a warning, I did not even know Izuruka was in this movie because I stopped where after all the girls moaned for Alex Okubo. And I got to that part this when I decided to rewatch it again. And then I was like, you know what? Let's stop and watch King the Land. Yuna and Seo, they're so beautiful. And it's just amazing to watch them fall in love. So what I'm about to say deals with the first, I think, 35 minutes. Because I did not even know Izuruka was in this movie. So let's start. I love the fact that Mr. C and Mrs. C and a lot of other of you are giving this movie so much more brevity than the last movie. I love it. Love it. This just shows the diversity of human enjoyments. Because this movie was confusing for me. I could not. Like I said, there's a reason why I don't watch The Room. I don't enjoy watching movies that I think is just terrible, and I can't find no sort of enjoyment for it. And I can watch a badly like production movie, okay, and still find it to be great, and still find it to be entertaining, and still like it. And y'all know this. And this movie, okay, I think I already tweeted it out. The line delivery is terrible. They're just saying their lines. Akin Lewis here, sure, is doing well. So is like, what's his name? Desmond Elliott, but for some reason, their acting does not even bring this up because you could just, almost every other person's line deliveries is horrible. Just barely horrible. Even if we're talking about like even just shots, just the shots that they're shooting, they're framing scenes, and like, why is that a long shot? Why is that you can control the drones anyhow, right? Drones don't have to come from the top all the time. They literally don't have to come from the top all the time. Like, why is this not a wide shot? What is going on here? The very first thing you're talking about, okay, whatever. I thought, okay, maybe this is going to be interesting. Open the Bible. I couldn't even read the passage because the camera is just so far off from the Bible. Like, I can't read the specific passage that you're even talking about. So okay, I'll just take what you're saying for some, just take what you're saying for true. Like, okay, there's a way to do that you could make the reader be able to see the text on screen that you think is important. How is she seeing what's happening to her parents? How? Just how? Like what? I like, even at the party scene, at the where she gets the nomination, I could not tell what was going on. I could not literally follow this the shots from one place to one place because it was so confusing. Because you didn't shoot this movie well. Like, this movie was not shot well. The sound is terrible, but that's to be expected for Nigeria. But still, just shot composition, shot arrangement is horrible. It's a movie is also kind of like an essay. Like, you want to pass out some sort of ideas or something, and the composition is bad, the organization is bad. Your themes, you're not even helping your themes because I don't even think you're arranging your composition and so very well. Like, what is going on in this movie? And I just realized something. I realized that the girl that was the worst out of the three actresses is the girl that is apparently very popular. So I am going to be a little bit careful here. I don't know who she is, so I don't have hatred for her. I don't know who she is. So I'm just gonna say, because the last time I heard that she has a big fan base. Please don't kill me. I'm just gonna say.
Does it rhyme with Farika?
I realized it. But I was like, oh, that girl looks familiar. I realized it just like a few minutes before I clicked it. I was like, yo, isn't that the girl we talked about? I was like, oh, snap. She was the weakest out of all the three. And you know what? It's not completely her fault. The director let her down. Director sometimes just they let her down. The director, I don't want to say anything too bad, but I have to be honest. It's technical wise, it's bad because the shot, even just the shot that the director choose to like put, it's just horrible. When they kill. First of all, free am. Does free am means kill am? Okay, whatever. But like, okay, they did the kill. She runs out. There are people out there. They do some sort of action. I didn't know what happened. Some sort of action thing. And like, why did the guys not run after her? You get. And you guys know I listen to dialogue, right? I generally listen to dialogue because I generally take movies kind of like composition. Like I watch all the aspect of the movie to kind of feel what the filmmaker is trying to tell me, right? I may not agree with what you're saying, with what the filmmaker is saying, but at least make yourself clear to me. Okay. The dialogue is ridiculous. Not necessarily the stylistic talking way, but just facts on ground of what's going on, right? The girl, the main girl, the not the one that is doing the video and like is apparently somehow related to Desmond Lelio's character, right? She tells the girl, the dark skin girl, this is literally what she says. We're in our second stage. We're in our second stage when she first meets the dark skin girl. Like, okay, so meaning to me that she has been having plans all this while. And there is more than one person that she's been doing a plan with, right? And then we go to the scene where apparently they are all three of them are meeting and they don't have a plan and she doesn't have a plan. I'm just like, so what the fuck do you mean by you're in the second stage? What do you mean? And the plan is to go and then shoot up the guy and like, what's going on here? Did the writer not look at the at this is what I mean by like basic organization. Like, why is she saying that? The script changed. What happened is that the script changed. The script goddamn changed, and they didn't check that they've already shot to say what they're saying. So how am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this movie? How am I supposed to enjoy it? Even if I shut off my brain, even with movie, look here, I enjoy all types of movies and all types of stories, all types of something. Even if I shut off my brain, it has to follow some sort of rhyme or reason. And this is not like some artistic movie, something. This is not the wall is blue. And I made fun of that movie. And I was not going to watch a movie of just a blue wall just because the filmmaker had AIDS and is dying. I was not going to watch a movie, an hour movie of a blue wall. I make fun of Agbada art movies. That makes no sense. And that person had AIDS. This movie is not that. This is supposed to be a conventional movie. And you cannot even follow simple conventional rules. I'm so sorry. I am willing to shut up my brain for so many things. You set yourself up as a typical political drama, action, Charlie's Angels movie, and yet you're just not doing it. You're just not delivering. You're just not. I'm so sorry. I This is why I think that it just happened to be that they didn't want to make a bad movie. They didn't want to make a bad movie. And whatever facts of life on ground happened that made this movie horrible. And I would say to Erica Newman, I think her name is Erica Newman, it is not completely your fault. It is the fault of the director. But also try to take acting classes so that it doesn't look like a... Honestly, it was so obvious that she was just reading lines. Out of all of them, it seemed like they were reading lines. Out of all of them, it was so obvious that she was doing that. And I have seen her done better. So I don't think this is why I'm just not going to blame only the actors in this. I think something went wrong somewhere. There's just multiple points of error, and I could not get into this movie. I apologize. It happens sometimes. It just happens. They didn't want to make a bad movie. And I don't know, maybe there was a curse from the people, from their village people or something. It just happened that they made a bad movie. My apology. And this is only based on 30 minutes. For the rest of you, I don't know what happened. So, and I'm not going to go watch it again. So,
Go and watch
bye.
it. I encourage you.
Don't encourage. That's nice. You can encourage me. It's of your own opinion. Anybody can say anything, but I am in control of my own body. I am in control of my truth. So
Like,
you can continue to encourage, and you can continue to pray. I would not do it. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Sorry about.
Guys out. All right. Okay. All right. It seems like after the good was filled with a lot of I like the intentions that went to Harvard. The real stuff is coming out right now. Okay. All right.
I did not lie. I liked it. They just didn't do it. That's the difference.
All right. Okay. You guys need to be able to follow things into the darkness. Some of these Nollywood movies, you need to follow it into the darkness. All right. Vanessa, tell us some stuff you did not like about Devil in Agbada.
I would just like to say, everybody, I campaigned heavily against this film. Mr. C and Mrs. C.
no,
are the
she
reason
did.
why.
I will have to give her that. She
Why
campaigned
you
very
people
heavily.
are
And I'm
watching?
not
You said anywhere where breeze blow.
behind this film.
Everywhere where breeze blow, Otas is there. That's how last week it was Vanessa. She was.
No.
Otas
I could
didn't
not have
know.
felt
Otas
that
didn't
it was
know
going
what
to be
this film
worse.
was.
There's just no way I could have predicted this.
She didn't expect it.
You know, to be a considerate person, if you want to go into darkness by yourself, you can do that. You don't have to
Exactly.
drag
Don't
everybody
drag
else.
us with
Hey,
you.
hey, this was voted by the people. You can blame this on the people.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I unlike Oyinkan have no qualms about smoke. Um, Mainly because the people who may give us smoke are quite literally busy with Big Brother. So yeah, Erica was horrendous in this. Um, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You started braggadocious and you were like, yeah, because they're not really.
I just want to say, I have no personal sin around Erica. I didn't even know she existed. So if you're going to give smoke,
So
I have no
mine
personal
is not
animals.
as bad as
I will
Oyinka's.
even forget it.
I knew she existed. I know that she considers herself an actress, much like many beautiful young ladies in Nollywood. Yeah, we might have to reassess that. Um, it's not giving. I'm sorry, and this is not even me being. It just doesn't come across like she's trying, and I know she's trying. It's just not connecting. But then again, in this film, like Onyeko said, we can't put the blame completely and solely on her because pretty much 70 to 85% of the cast, and this is me being very generous, was really bad in this. The acting as a whole was awful. And like Linda Osifo isn't the most like consistently good actress, but she's had her moments where she's been pretty okay. Same with Eferele. So for them to be this fantastically bad, it isn't their fault. So I'm not gonna put it solely on Erica, but Erica's really bad at this. Like something has to give. Something has to give because this is not the first film, nor the second, nor the third, where her performance just hasn't been up to par. But before this sounds like an Erica hate train, we're gonna move along. We're gonna move along. Um, the story wasn't storying, and while I appreciate that maybe this was made a few years ago, where there was like a onslaught of Nigerian political dramas slash crime, menene. Like we had what was it called? Oga Governor? What was that film called? The one with Funka Akindele and Aki Lewis?
Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, that's what it was. There was Your Excellency. I mean, I think it started with like things like King of Boys, which was also kind of like a political crime drama of sorts. And then like we had Your Excellency as like the comedic one, and then we had the one with what's her name? RMD and this beautiful woman. Um why is it that her name always just gets out of my head? Whatever, the one that they were husband and wife running for governor of a state together. Love is War, Abi, is that what it was called?
Yeah, love as well.
Exactly. So like we
Umanu
had
Elijah.
so I guess that was the time period in which this was made. And maybe if I watched it then, I wouldn't be nah, it's a lie. I would still be I would still be as harsh. I would still be as I couldn't say that, like, couldn't complete that statement. But I guess I understood why it was made the way it was made for the time period in which it was made, but the execution was horrendous. Um, like the bare bones of the story, I don't know. I, I they were trying to save a lot of things for reveals, like the fact that Ife really was apparently sexually assaulted for years by Otumba, or did I get that wrong? Um, and that her father kind of pushed it under the cap because I'm assuming that Desmond Elliot was her father in this. These are the things that maybe because I was out of it, I wasn't really paying attention to this film because I couldn't. But there was a lot of things for the sake of reveal. Like the only person who we kind of understood why she was upset in the beginning of the film was Erica's character because her family farm or land was stolen by Akin Lewis and they got kicked out of it. So like I understood her grouse from like minute one of the film. I thought she was gonna be the central thing leading like this charge. Lo and behold, she wasn't. And if it really comes from nowhere, and like we're all wondering, even the other Charlie's Angels were cuckoo too wondering what is her stake in this. Even Linda Osifo, I can't even remember what was Linda Osifo's stake in this. Apparently, her own had happened
There
off
were
camera.
They
Lin-
killed somebody now, right?
Oh yes, it's true. How was the
Yeah.
actual first one? They killed her parents. It was hard that they killed her. Yes, our father was the judge. I'm sorry, I watched this film like 2 weeks ago. I didn't care to watch it again this morning.
the
Yeah.
Erica was
They still have family.
they still have
They saw her
family
family land. Linda
members.
was for they killed her parents. That if it really did, I mean, Otumba was just an equal opportunity criminal. So, yeah, I think a lot of it just felt like a jumbled up mess. Nothing really connected. Even the montage, the training day montage that Omodudu apparently so liked. I was I'm sorry. Maybe it served for comedic relief. I don't know if they intended for it to be comedic relief, but it was because like he was like the first thing you need to know about this is me paraphrasing. I don't remember the lines word for word. The first thing you have to do when you're going to into a fight is to have the mindset that you are going to win. If you cannot go in, I was like, sir, this is supposed to be like the most dangerous what's it called, assassin that Otumba had on his hand. I'm supposed to buy that. That's who Zarukwe is. I like a lot of this just felt like they were trying to sell me something that I couldn't get on board with. Nothing just felt like believable. Nothing about this was believable. Maybe except Aki Lewis. Maybe Aki Lewis was believable, but like the entirety of the film didn't feel believable. How is it that Desmond Elliot knew that his daughter has been doing this thing since she came back, and like he didn't do anything about it? He wasn't. I'm confused, and the end just felt like a blur. Like they went into his house. One person wanted to run away before I be that the other girls left, and if they really decided to stay, I Hedakun, what's all this? And I will say, we could have watched this. I'm sorry, I'm gonna propose. We could have watched the Lotana movies again this week because it was also an action-ish film with political-ish leanings called Hide and Seek, and we could have been hiding and seeking today, and we would have been fine. Because this film wasn't giving. I tried. I'm sorry. This film felt like it was produced by Chinneylove Eze. And was it? Like the YouTube Chinneylove Eze. I feel like Devil in Agbada was produced by Chinneylove Eze.
It is actually produced by her.
Exactly. Because it genuinely just felt like a YouTube film. And if I had watched it on YouTube, maybe I would have been more forgiving. And no shade to Chinneylove Eze. You're great on YouTube, especially the romance films. I see. I'm a huge Chinneylove Eze stan on YouTube. Like when it comes to like romance and love films on YouTube, he's one of the first channels I go to. Is Chinneylove Eze. So this is no shade to Chinneylove, but
Oh,
this film,
you just like her on a different platform.
I just like her on a different
But
platform.
now there's some people
You're
on YouTube.
an actual boxer.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Mira, you want to keep her in one place.
No.
You want to box
You know
her
how
in
we
her
said in the
YouTube.
good. You know how we said in the good that if you have a lane and you stick to it and you do it well, you get me.
I actually love that Vanessa has validated my this. There is texture, like this film has an identity.
What is
And
identity?
not you getting the identity
The identity
and
is YouTube.
ironically.
The identity is YouTube, apparently. I'm so sorry, Chinneylove Eze. This wasn't a good attempt for a film that apparently was in the cinemas. It, I and I'm sorry. I know this is off the point, but Nigerian film distributors, you people actually let this film sit in the cinemas and make movie, and yet you guys are pulling Houdini and villainous things against Mami Water. It will not be good for all of you. Because if you people allow this film to sit in the cinema and actually make some money in the box office, and you're actively going against allowing Mami Water to do the same, kò ní dáa fún gbogbo yín. End of.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Vanessa. Atas, what issues could you have with this film?
Oh, where to start? Where to start? All right. So I'm going to go in no particular order, not from the beginning or the end. I don't know if there are necessarily issues as much as there are questions. I guess the confusion is an issue. To start with, they told this babe, go up and disable all the cameras. And I don't think one single camera was disabled at any point in time. I did not understand what was happening. I think this is in like the third act, the very final. All the girls are sitting down. They pick one, take her to, the back. She feigns having to pee, disarms the two guards. Good for her. And then she just stays in that room. Doesn't leave the room until the other guy comes to find her. Otumba is literally like 2 doors down at any point in time. So I was like, I don't even know who the target is at this point because she's just up there. She points a gun at Alex. I don't know what she does to Alex. And then we're back outside. Otumba at this point is unaffected by anything happening. I was confused. I am confused. Whatever. F.A. and her dad have their little cute argument outside. He gets shot. All of a sudden, the gun jams. Great. They get away. She goes inside, and the whole entire plan is hinging on his wife or wife to be stealing his charm. I don't understand that because so if she wasn't even a part of the plan. They do a brief flashback where she spoke to her at some point about, I guess, abortion. So she's upset that Ochumba was making her get abortions. And is that her villain origin story? Just so we're clear. So she steals the charm because she wanted to keep her last baby.
He's been assaulting her since she was 14.
He assaulted her when she was 14. I don't know whether it's...
No, I said it's been since she was 14. I guess at some point he just groomed her into, or she just...
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Into this.
Oh, so he had been assaulting her since she was 14. Okay. All right. That then makes a lot more sense. But then her biggest grouse at the end is that she wanted to keep a baby. Again, back to not making sense because
pretty guy. Nobody's perfect.
Fair enough. And then we just brush over the fact as well that he rapes Erica. Like, did we all just forget that? The movie just forgets.
Yes, the movie does.
Yeah,
completely.
Because again, the movie just threw that in there. It's Nollywood, right? It's here, have a break.
But there's already a rape, right?
Yes, they wanted to.
And it's not just one rape. There was like multiple sexual assaults. And
they decided stealing the family land was not enough.
Yeah.
All right. It's my issue starts there, honestly. Because she wakes up, she doesn't know what happened. She's obviously been drugged. And then we just forget that happens. And then she goes on the site. He's still demolishing her house. Revenge. I guess losing her family home wasn't enough revenge. So, she needed to be raped too. Fair enough.
Yeah, how else would you know he's just a super awful villain? Also, he's not raping everybody.
Also, we know this because she comes in and she was like, but me and him had an... It's like, I think she had an agreement.
Give me his word. I'm like, I'm sorry, he drugged you.
Yeah, right? I thought I had imagined it. I remember her waking up and saying, how did this happen? What happened? And then she goes on site and she's like, oh, we had an agreement. And I'm like, did they at some point do? And I missed it.
I think it was doing because I asked as well, right? No, Mr. C was like, when she was, came
implied,
to me, he was like, it's not a problem. Drink.
It's not a problem. He's like,
So I don't really hear the word,
He implied that he was going to, and I guess maybe because like he she would see it, I guess, because of how easily she just throws it to the side. He had his way with her. It's like, all right, deal.
Maybe she thought like that was like, all right, fine, it's still the deal. And then, oh no, he is still demolishing.
Yeah.
But the deal was never made. Anyways, okay. I
don't take this film seriously. The writers did not know what they were doing. There was no organization. It's an F. It's an F paper.
Just everywhere. Even the final scenes with the fighting, I don't know where those two bodyguards went at each other. There were so many guns in this movie at some point, but then all the guns just disappear. Like when you walk into the house, one person has there's 3 AKs at some point just walking past and forth on the screen. There are guns everywhere. But then the fight starts. One person's gun jams conveniently, great. But then all the guns just disappear. All of a sudden, everybody that has guns has forgotten how to shoot it. And 3 girls who just started fight training like last week has taken out your entire guards. Great. It's just all dumb. The fight scene at the end with Uzo is dumb. That wig is ugly as hell. I don't know why it came up in the good so many times because that thing was atrocious. The story doesn't make sense. The story just seems like, obviously they wanted a political drama and they just cut and joined a bunch of pieces together to get to one end point, which is taking out the big bad. Why was she patterned? I still don't know why she was patterned, but she was patterned and then she's on a yacht at the end. So shout out to everybody, man. I don't know what to say. I just don't think it's even... I don't want to point out any one thing that you could have done better because the whole movie should have been done better. Everyone in this movie acted badly, which is why I'm a little offended on Erica's behalf that you guys pinpointed her specifically because she is relatively new. And if this movie was shot a few years ago, then she was even newer then. And she was acting next to some of the biggest veterans in Nollywood. And they were all terrible. And if they're all bad in this movie, I just don't know where you guys want Erica to start from. Because she was confused the entire movie. I remember at least 5 or 6 scenes where she's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. I don't know what to do. And I know that she's talking about the plan, but I'm genuinely, it genuinely feels like talking to the director of the movie. Because there's just so many parts where she's looking around. She's like, oh, what are we supposed to do? I don't know what the next plan is. And I'm like, yeah, obviously you don't. Like, I could tell that you don't know what's happening next, babe. And I don't know that was yeah.
I'm gonna have to actually you a little bit on Erica. I know she doesn't have the most experience, but like Erica's not that new. She used to act before Big Brother, yeah, and she was better. She was actually better in her earlier days than now.
I haven't seen her earlier work then. I saw her when she just came out again after Big Brother, and since then everything has been consistently bad.
I want to ask you to go watch Hire a Woman, but like, is it worth it? Maybe go find snippets of her performance there. Don't watch the whole thing if you don't have to.
And which one?
Hire a Woman.
I've seen Hire a Woman. Isn't Hire a Woman newer?
No, Hire a Woman's pre-Big Brother.
Oh. What year is Hire a Woman?
What year is Hire a Woman?
I don't know. 2017, 20?
That's new. Come on, that's still relatively new now.
Yeah.
It's 2019 actually.
Released 2019.
Yeah, she's relatively new on the acting scene. Even pre-Big Brother, I think she had just kind of got on there.
We don't know if it's her first film though.
We don't know if that's her first film. Yeah.
She was in the Iroko movie. She's done a few Iroko stuff as well. So yeah.
But she was with Uzo in this movie, and Uzo is veteran of veterans.
Yeah.
FA at this point is more veteran than Erica is. And FA is still considered relatively new on the scene. But even she was somehow worse in this movie than she was in Hey You. And I just don't know how that was possible. I thought Hey You was the worst thing either of those actors had ever acted. and Effie said, "Hold my beer." So good for her. But that's why I don't feel like it's as much of an acting issue in this one. I think everybody was just confused.
I agree.
So
It was much fun for me.
It was so fun for me.
It was much
but
fun.
I love seeing Uche Jumbo. Love seeing her on my screen. Did not love her character. Love seeing
Did
her.
not love her wigs either.
Did
Yeah.
not love anything she had on. But I was just glad to see her on the screen. But her character was so interesting. In a complete so her character then supposed to be the one who was married to Uzo.
Yeah.
Who Otumba stole from Uzo.
Yeah.
And then she's the one then sleeping with the bodyguard or assistant.
Yeah.
And they get murdered by Otumba.
Yeah. For being sloppy.
I mean, I actually think that was fair because that was quite fair. So fair enough.
That was a fun. I did like that side plot, to be honest.
I did. Sorry, I want to say I did like that little framing there. Even when they go, "Oh, but we haven't tried to kill him yet," so he's obviously setting that up. I thought that was actually really clever. That little 4-minute sequence.
True. All right. Omar, did you tell us some of the things you didn't like about Devil in Agbada?
I didn't even know because I barely can, I barely can remember anything from this movie. As in, not like I can remember anything, but I barely can remember much from this movie. I really want to know what the writer was thinking when they were writing because, you know, I don't know. Maybe they thought what they were writing was, kind of really make a lot of sense because at some point I was like, this movie is a joke, and I wish I I wish they could have done little, done a little stream down the plot, several plus things that were happening in the movie. Actually, the sexual assaults. Oh my god, it was just a lot. Well, I don't know. I didn't find it. I was not okay with that part of the villain, but they could have just done other things. But the sexual assault was just too much for me, and the whole third act, them going to the Otumba's mansion. Oh God, it was stressful. It was stressful and it was just too long. This movie, I don't know. I think I was just laughing. As a mother, I was like, okay, what are these people doing? What were they thinking when they were making this movie? Maybe they wanted to do something, something great that will blow people's mind. I felt like they didn't sit down and read the script and they didn't do a script conference like, okay, let's give it out to people so that we can get feedback from them. Maybe it was the directing, because sometimes when you write a script, I think directors could change things, and directors, maybe production, because of money, you would change things and things will go, the way you don't want it to. So I don't know, because the presentation of this movie is, in Yoruba, it is Olagbara. Olagbara. I think the movie is bad though, because I can't really, because I can't really go deep into what I didn't like, because I think my brain has kind of like, blurred everything out. My brain has blocked the whole thing, so I've forgotten most of the things. But I just think that the whole execution was not palatable. I wish maybe they would do better next time, but nah, this movie is a no for me.
All right. Thanks, Omar. Just have before we get to Ada, just have to ask Vanessa a question. Vanessa, is Chinneylove usually this horny a filmmaker? Like,
because Jesus, this
film
film
is just Is this normal?
Is
My
this what
brother,
they do
it's
on
not
YouTube?
normal, oh.
It's not normal.
Is this
It's
what
not
people have
normal.
been watching
This
on
is why.
YouTube?
This is why
Let
I
me.
said on YouTube. Maybe because YouTube has parental guidance and there's there's age restrictions and things that they can post. I don't know, but like on YouTube, especially with the romances, it's
Sponsor.
super sweet.
It's sponsorship. That's actually what's recurring with big movies. It's the person sponsor has way too much say in how the movie ends up going. Because when they're on YouTube, they're telling their fun little stories. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is nonsensical. Don't get me wrong. Like, why am I watching this for 4 hours? It could easily be 2 hours. But they're telling their fun little stories. And they have almost full direction as far as where the story is going to
Story
go,
goes,
what they
yeah.
want to tell. And in this movie, you can clearly tell that there's like four different people who have given their ideas and said it must make big screen or I made to pull my, because that's just what this movie feels like.
Genuinely, that's what it feels like. It feels like they made a lot of concessions just so the film could make it into the cinemas.
Well, so like
This
for
fire
someone who
was
did
Like, there's
for
no
someone who
way
did the
best cast for this movie. It just feels like when this movie came out, Erica was probably big, and somebody was like, we need to have Erica in here.
Yeah,
Box office
yeah.
people. Like, that's just what
That
all of
actually was the
it feels
case.
like. The
I
actors,
don't
everything. Like, it's just a bunch of random people with no chemistry between each other, just doing things on the screen, and they are telling a story. 5 of them are telling different stories.
for someone who just did the Nolly data. I mean, Chinneylove is credited as this. I think she's credited as the sole producer. She's credited as the right screenplay and story. There are 3 co-writers she has, but
Who
like
cares about
she's
your facts?
huh?
I don't need hard facts.
and then and then Chinelove actually has a co-director credit. So Chinelove, its fingerprints are all
I
over
don't
this
care
thing.
about your facts. I
My
know
son,
Chinneylove. I
uh,
know Chinneylove from
and
YouTube.
you recognized it. You recognized it. Let me put it to you. I put it to you. You recognize her work. You recognize her
No,
work,
no, 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 no.
and you called it, and you are right. So just allow it. All right. Ada, do you want to tell us something about you weren't here for the likes? Do you want to tell us whether things you liked or did not like?
Yeah, sure. So the things that I liked is, I think the actress, the dark skin one, is very stunning. She has very, very striking eyes, and they were really very nice. The things that I didn't like, is the writing and the execution, the directing, and basically everything else that everyone has said. Retweet, retweet, retweet. But in addition to that, and more specifically, some of the things that I didn't like is, first of all, the opening scene. I think it didn't capture me, and you're probably wondering, why did you finish it then if you didn't capture it? Well, you guys will pay for your sins, as I said. But I don't think it was it didn't deliver what they thought it was meant to. The guy, the politician, couldn't even act. The Bible thing that there was, that I didn't like the whole thing, and and sorry, and yeah, for a movie that had potentially interesting plot and potentially an opening scene that could have been actually very striking, it just did not do any of that. It felt really, really flat. I love how almost nobody mentioned sound, because it's kind of like to be expected, but it was bad. But also the sound, there was no sound of the gunshot. So sometimes somebody would get shot and they would just fall to the ground. I'm like, what happened? Like, they wouldn't show it. As someone said, it wouldn't be like a close shot. It would be like a wide shot. Wide shot, no sound of gunshot. Someone would just randomly fall. I'm like, what happened? What's going on here? But I don't know. And then obviously the rest of the sound, speaking, whatever, just bad all over. I think, I don't know if I like it or dislike it. I'm gonna move on from that anyway. I think I don't like the title. I don't like titles that I feel like somebody on Twitter could have come up with. And if you do have to make a title like that, then so that title hints at something a bit humorous, and it doesn't deliver on that, and is actually quite serious. And I think old Nollywood obviously used to do a lot of that. You know, we'd have Rihanna versus Beyonce or something like that. But what they used to do is they used to commit to it. And they didn't just so Blackberry Babes was not about babes that have blackberries, but they also spies for a governor position, and then they uncover secrets for the governor, and they message these secrets through the Blackberry, and that's why it's called Blackberry Babes. No, it's a ridiculous movie. We know it is. It's enjoyable, but we know exactly what it is, not to be taken seriously. The writers know it, the viewers know it, and so we're all happy. But in newer Nollywood, I feel like they're trying to give us these titles that are not much substance, or they're just meant to not be taken seriously, but they want us to actually take the movie seriously. And I want them to promise us to deliver what they promised us with the title, and they didn't do that. I don't understand is it the party scene or whatever, where they were meant to go to his countryside house or whatever. So Kiki was his right-hand man's daughter. Surely they would know who she is. So I'm very confused by that. Why is she there in the party specifically? They know who she is. They know she has animosity towards Guy. Only like a few, what was it? I don't know, weeks, months ago, whatever she did that whole interview. How does that plan work? They definitely must have she's the right-hand guy's like daughter, so I don't understand that. Speaking of the interview, that interview was so funny. The guy seemed like he didn't know when he was interviewing Kiki, he didn't know what was going to come out of his mouth. I find that so funny. And also that news was breaking news for some reason. I don't know why. The breaking news was, hey, I don't like this politician, I'm going to expose him. That's hardly breaking news. I can tweet that on my Twitter. It's not breaking news, so I find that actually quite funny. The movie was just yeah, there was also like quite a few funny things here and there. Erica's acting, especially when she was crying, was just over the top. I didn't really believe it. Ucha Jumbo's wig, the curly, or was it the ginger one, was absolutely atrocious. We don't really do wigs well in Nollywood, actually, or weaves. But some of them are better than others. That one was absolutely horrid. It was a character on its own. That was also a villain in this movie. Some like some bits where they're trying to build tension with the music. Like I think Kiki was confronting her dad, and she was like, do you know the worst part of everything? And the music was building up, and was like, it's you. Okay, that's hardly a reveal. And they did that quite a few times. They were trying to build up to a sentence, to like a punchline or something, and this is not a reveal on anything. I like Erica's mom on a deathbed with full face of makeup. I think maybe that's a requirement when you're obviously at the end of your life. I like Erica also fighting in her heels for some reason, struggling to actually make a getaway, because that makes sense for you to get away in your heels, and instead of like kicking them off, or instead of not wearing them at all if you're doing type of heist thingy. The weird scene with the trap net when Desmond Elliot comes into her daughter's house. That was just random. It's just random, and I think it's bits like that. Maybe they didn't want us to take the movie seriously, but I don't think you can juxtapose those little moments with the heaviness of the actual themes of the story. So I don't think it landed the way it's meant to. The fight scenes, yeah, they were not terrible. And yeah, I think that's it. I didn't think So I think I was trying to see where it was going, and I don't think it went to a good place. It did the expected things that we would expect from this type of movie. It ticked all the boxes in that respect, but the execution was bad, the writing was bad, some of the acting was bad. So yeah, that's those are my bads.
Okay, all right.
I have more questions. I had so many questions.
All right. All the questions can be answered by either they didn't do it well or you missed something.
Where janitor uniforms come from?
Huh?
Because they moved. Where did the janitor uniforms come from?
The back, the back.
It's from the back.
The
They're
back
both.
of where?
All right,
They
that's all
moved
right.
all
Inside
their
the bag.
equipment
You didn't
into
see
the
the bag.
house.
If you didn't see the bag, just say you didn't see the bag.
Bag.
They
Just
moved all their
you didn't
equipment
see
into the
that.
house and entered the house with no bags. And
No,
then two babes outside.
Baby.
no, I'm explaining. You know they commandeered the food truck.
Yes, I remember that. And they put all their equipment inside it
Yeah.
house.
And then they went outside. And then they went to the food truck. You not see the food truck, but they went to the food truck.
How do you know that they
But
went to
their
the food truck if you
outfits.
didn't
No,
see the
no.
food truck?
Everybody
know.
pause. Their
You
outfit
didn't
was
know.
already
If
inside
you
their
don't know, you
house.
don't know.
If you don't know, you don't know.
The third girl's outfit came from inside the house. She changed in that bathroom
Yeah.
and
But
came
then,
out in her jumpsuit, while the other two changed outside miraculously as well and came in. She was like, where were the things that were like? Where did Effe's gun even come
My own
from?
is that fight scene between Uzo Arukwe and the new
You know,
like new
yeah,
number one. Now, what
yeah.
was that?
it was a fight scene. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? It was the showdown of bad assery. From drone shirts to white shirts on the grounds. Mate,
y'all don't know artistry.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. If you guys
And like, since that babe had been assaulted since she was 14, what was the flashback or the last baby even necessary for? Because I saw that flashback last, like where she's like holding the stick in red cloth, and then they flash back to, I wanted to keep this baby. I honestly forgot that she was even like this had been happening since she was 14, because with my brain.
I think the flashback was to because when we see her leave the first time, it's almost as if she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Don't want to do it, and so
Flashback
they're
is
showing a flashback of yes or
Yeah.
no, but it pains me that yes, like I said. All right. Okay. Just a couple of things coming. Me says he hates the title, which I don't know. You guys should leave the title in you and Ada, because we've had Devil in a Dress. We'll be having Devil in a Dress. Why can't we have Devil in Agbada? You guys are haters. There says, when I saw the preview of this movie, I was so excited to watch it, but what? Kudos to the idea, but the execution wasn't great. The execution is what I love, to be honest. The action wasn't great. Another thing I love. The production quality was poor, makeup poor, acting poor. Not poor, but poor. All right. Okay, Mrs. C, the things you didn't like.
No, it's 10 out of 10. No, but okay, I don't know. So again, I watched this film with specific expectations that it seems the rest of you did not. I saw the trailer and I knew that this film don't come on your hand for anything with this serious. And as such, I was going to watch it like that, and I had a great time. But in the things that were wrong, or I found wrong about the film, I think everyone has said the acting was bad. The acting was inconsistent for Efe and what's this other beautiful babe's name? Lillian? Is that her name?
Linda.
Linda and Efe, inconsistent acting. Erica, consistently bad. The acting wasn't good. Uche Jumbo's wigs, atrocious. I'm of two minds on Uzo Arukwe's crochet, because I don't know, it grew on me.
There's not too much to be had. That crochet was
It
acting
grew
its
on
butt
me.
off.
It grew on me.
It was
Use your
no, the
mind.
crochet was working.
The crochet grew on me. Like, I thought from the trailer, I was like, what is this? But it grew on me. I was like, all right, okay, all right. But anyway, look, if I see a brilliant Uzo Arukwe, I click like. That's just me. Anywho, all the camera movements, someone was having so much fun, right? Someone was having a lot of fun with the camera and the editing. Like, what was that guy doing push-ups and we're going up and down and up and down? I'm like, is he doing what do we, what, and why? Okay. So yeah, the camera, someone was having too much fun and not in a professional way. What else? I mean, the absolute insanity of the whole thing. The absolute insanity of the whole thing.
I think you didn't like.
I'm saying, so again, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the insanity, but obviously that's not how to make a film. Anyway, as a viewer, right? And again, okay, the Nollywood thing of this person's a bad person, he does rapes. This person's a bad person, let's throw in some more rapes. And it's like, and yeah, with Erica just forgetting about it, it's like, you want to throw it in there for me to feel bad for her because you don't have any other way of being impactful, right? To show, like, her land is being stolen, her house is being stolen, that's enough. No, you have to throw in rape and then forget about it the next minute. Because again, it's inconsequential. Who cares? We've thrown it in there. We've thrown it out. And just also like, I can Lewis was fun. It was giving, but like, what? I don't know about crime or criminals that well. So I don't know if like one criminal usually indulges in just all of the crimes, or like criminals usually have just a few crimes they do. Because it seemed like this guy did all the crimes, just every crime possible, he was doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. Also, if he wasn't doing rapes, he was at the club, right? They were bringing in babes. Like, what time does this man have to do anything that's actually
Money man.
just a horny man? He's just like, what time does he have? When did he amass this influence and power? I don't think his penis gave him a chance to do that. But yeah, sure, okay. So yeah, our villain was Akin Lewis. Akin Lewis was the fun, right? I don't think the villain was written interesting. I think Akin Lewis brought personality to the villain. If not, it was just gonna be one note, mustache twirling, ritual doing restless penis villain. Look, the film was chaotic. It was chaotic. That was just about it. There's not much that's actually good in this, but that's what I expected when I went in to watch it, and I expected So Bad It's Good, and that was what it delivered for me.
All right. Just gonna have to echo a lot of that. Incomes is saying some of us were caught unawares. We did not see the trailer. We only hear that this was the movie we are going to watch, decided by the seas. Not decided by the seas, decided by the voters. I've learned the trick.
Your first one was the right one, decided by the seas.
No, I was reading somebody's incorrect quote, and then I corrected it because in voters, I don't even have a vote. But all I do is read pullouts between what you guys voted.
So
That's all I can say.
Tato, read
If
my
what?
quote correctly. Okay, I said the C's.
Yeah,
In
that's
fact,
what I said.
you are right. I'm incorrect. I mean Mr. C. I mean decided by Mr. C, not
Okay,
Mrs.
I
C.
see what this is. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, the things I did not like about the film, the only thing I did not particularly like about the film was the rapes just seemed unnecessary, but just because like it just seemed like a bad bloke we could have just done with from the political side. So I didn't need that. It didn't really add much. But I guess like every other thing that is kind of bad works for me to the advantage of this film. I love that, and I'm saying more good, but this is how I feel about this film here. I feel like the camera work, I feel like the sound, I feel like the title, everything is working to make this film so much fun for me. Rarely do you get like the synergy you get from other films, like the camera just doing stuff. This film opens at the beginning like it's gonna be a Tarantino movie. We're quoting a Bible verse, like this is gonna have any relevance to anything whatsoever. And you know, like with this POV of a hitman looking at his, you know, reading out a Bible quote, and it's slightly off center, but whatever. And you know, we keep on going from you know, we blur in the background of one of our protagonists that is about to be killed. Like, there's actually, they tried a bunch of different things with the filmmaking, and honestly, they failed for most of it, which is why it was fun. I don't understand what's not to understand about this. It's the attempt at trying and failing. Honestly, it's the way also that they fail. It's and it just reminds me of some Hollywood B movies that I really enjoy as well. But like something last week where there just wasn't a lot. It was just badly done, uninteresting storylines, and then there's nothing in it for me. If you want me to, if I'm to enjoy a bad movie, I need you to at least try in a way that somebody hasn't done before, or like that is interesting. I want to see Erica fight in heels and an overall. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see her do kung fu with heels on and an overall. That's the kind of stuff I want to see if you're going to show me a bad movie. So yeah, that's why I like this movie. That's why this movie is different, and that's why, I prefer this movie to this. Is it good though? Of course, I'm not saying it's good. Here's probably a key difference between me and the people from last week. I'm not going to claim this film is good. I'm just saying why this film is enjoyable, from my perspective. Though,
You go explain, Ty. I know, see evidence.
All receipts were shown, my G. All receipts were shown. With
Your
the
receipts are faulty, no evidence.
Just turn your brain off. It's okay. I'm talking about synergy of filmmaking here. Synergy. Like what? Like as I said, somebody shoots gun and you don't hear the gunshot, but you hear the sound effects of the bullets dropping on the floor. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear. It's like, because maybe it's a new type of gun that is so silent you don't hear it. You don't hear it shoot. It's so quiet. That's kind of stuff I want to hear. With my view. So yeah, but anyway, I enjoyed all of that. Is it good? No, far from it. But yeah, that's kind of stuff I want to see in my movies. If it's going to be bad, though, is an attempt at interesting filmmaking, interesting plot lines, and it helped that there was the actors were either charismatically good in Akin Lewis, or very fun, very bad in the way like Erica and Effie and Linda were. So yeah. Anyway, do summaries.
So let me get this straight. The movie last week that
Was-
And
actually
everybody's on crack today.
was
Was
more
boring.
than the movie.
Whatever they were ingesting in their house, I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. This is what I mean. See, this is even more proof of like you can like what you like. Eh?
Yeah. Okay.
I do
we can
personally
discuss.
believe that there's something wrong, but that's what happens.
Okay.
My
I'm going to
summary.
repeat again because like people like to miss this. I will like films like Namaste Wahala, and you guys will. Oh, how can you
I
like?
like Namaste
I'm
Wahala.
glad.
I know.
Remember, I'm on
I'm
your
glad
side
this
in that one.
film are in the
I
same
know.
category.
The issue, yeah, yes. I'd say that I'm telling you right now, I know it's bad. I like the things that are bad in there. I like that bad stuff. The people from last week were telling me that my nose is my ear and my eye is my tongue. That's the
Okay,
difference.
first of
Is
all,
that people were
at
claiming
least last
last
week
week
gave us
wasn't.
story.
No, it
At
didn't.
least
All the
last
story was
week.
bad. All the story.
Okay, at least last week gave us story. But it's okay.
This
You
is
can like this movie.
yeah, sure.
People
But
like
this is the
what they like.
difference. This is the difference
Okay?
between us. Is that you claim the movie from last week is fine or okay or good or whatever, and I'm not claiming this movie is good. I'm claiming this movie is bad,
I
and
claimed the movie
I'm
was
liking.
okay. I didn't
Yeah,
claim the movie was the greatest movie in the world. I
no,
claimed the movie at
and,
least was
and I
competent.
strongly disagree with you that I think that
It
movie is very bad, and the thing that makes
look.
it worse for my enjoyment
I'm
is
not.
that it's not entertaining.
My thing is when I criticize things, I like go with like, okay, does this in the realm of films that just happen, not just the good ones are like the extremely good ones, just like, is this an understandable thing that happens, and does this movie meet the basic standards? I'm just saying, as a basic movie, that one was much better. This one
Months
has
ago.
much this one, and that is, I have a very low something of like, is this thing okay or not? And this thing was just off by many something. It looks more like a semblance of a movie. Like, I think the reason why I'm upset with this movie a little bit is because it looks like it had more opportunities than the last movie to actually be good. And it just kept on not being.
Here's
And I'm
the
not
actual thing is that I actually think that in ways like this movie is much worse than the movie from last week.
yes.
Yeah,
So
many
we
ways
agree.
much worse.
You just
Yes,
like it, and that's okay. I am agreeing with you.
but
I'm
that's
just
what I'm
like, okay,
saying. But that's
yeah,
what I'm
I'm
saying. But
agreeing
like
with
the
you.
difference is that like I guess like the
I'm
difference
just
is that
surprised by I'm not saying whether this movie is good. No, no. My thing is just like, I'm just surprised that you you like this movie. You got some enjoyment from this movie
oh no
more
no
than last something. And that's okay. I'm not arguing that this movie, I agree with you. This movie is objectively, on an objective category, this movie is worse than last movie. But
yes.
I was
But
okay
like
with
it's
the
more
last
fun.
movie.
But it's more fun
And
and
you were
entertaining
okay
to
with
me.
this movie. I mean, people don't like, I don't get why people don't like, what's it called? The American Taxi Driver movie. Not Taxi Driver, not the 1970s one, the one with Queen Latifah. I don't get why people don't like it. I don't get why Americans, like the critics, didn't like it. I like it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's why I'm just surprised by you
I
liking
think
it.
what
That's
Mr.
all.
C is saying
Then
though, that you
one.
can enjoy movies that are bad, but you have to acknowledge that they're bad and just be
That's what
fine
I'm
Yeah,
with
saying.
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So that's what
yeah,
he's
yeah.
saying. But he's
Yeah,
saying
I
that
think
But
last
that's
week,
not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm surprised that you like it. That's what I was saying from the beginning.
that's I mean, I'm surprised that anyone would say like next to this movie, and that's
That's what I was
something
I
saying.
feel
else
like if you
entirely.
can't like
But
this
I'm not
film,
attacking
like
you for liking
you're
it. I'm just saying I'm surprised.
Oh,
That's
me,
if
all
I'm
I'm
anybody
saying.
attacking
can
him for liking it too.
if you don't like Devin Agbada, like if you can't find enjoyment here, you're gonna struggle in Nollywood to keep your sanity. And
Oh,
as
no, no, no,
somebody
no,
who's been
no,
doing this
but there
thing
are
in
a lot of good
no, no.
Nollywood
There are
movies. I don't
lots
think you
of good Nollywood
struggle,
something.
yeah, to keep your
Yeah,
sanity
we
no no
don't
high.
no
need
I don't
this.
think that
Mr.
this
C, now
movie,
you're claiming something that you shouldn't be claiming.
yeah, this movie is
Just
not
be
a
proud.
representation of
Just
what
be
Nollywood
proud that you
offers
like it.
at all.
Just be proud that you like it. You like what you like. You like what you like. It's okay.
okay. All right.
Eh? Don't now say,
Wait,
"Oh, we are not
wait.
going to survive in Nollywood." Like, this movie is bad, and there are a lot of good Nollywood movies, and we're going to be good.
You need to
If
let
we
me
don't
explain
like
what
it,
I'm
we're
saying. You
good.
guys jumped on the wrong thing. I literally said this movie is worse than the movies before. I'm not saying that there are not movies better than this. I'm saying that if you cannot find enjoyment in bad movies in Nollywood, for somebody who wants to watch and discuss Nollywood movies on a weekly basis, you will struggle. That's all I'm saying. Because like there's
Yeah.
no way week on week you're not going to stumble on something that at least is going to like delve into this pit or into this into the darkness, into this pit
What?
of despair. It's
I
like
get what
something
you're
like
saying.
you will struggle. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not like I don't know what you guys I don't know what you guys were claiming. It wasn't what I was saying.
I get what you're saying. I get what
Uh,
you're saying. You're right. But I do feel like there are other bad movies that are more interesting than this. What's the name of that movie where like anything was going on?
Wow. Like you
It
have
was
not.
like a spy movie,
Is it
okay.
and
Glamour
with three
Girls?
girls, with
Like it could be
Bumbo,
Glamour
Bimbo,
Girls.
Yeah, I'm a
three like
girls. Glamour Girls
No, no,
was
no.
Not Glamour Girls. That feels like
Glamour
Glamour
Girls.
Girls.
No, 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 no. They were doing spy shit, and I think there was a magical card that disappeared
Oh,
or something
oh
Sugar
like that.
Sugar
Rush.
Rush. Sugar
Oh.
Rush. Yeah, Sugar Rush is
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I've
yeah.
seen
uh,
that
Sugar Rush
movie.
yeah, Sugar
was
yeah, but like
amazing.
yeah, Sugar Rush
And
is
even
good, but like
what's the name of that Indian Nollywood one?
Namaste
Amazing.
Wala.
Amazing.
But,
It may not be the best, but at least it has some competence,
but
like
like
some
I
something
think
that can make me go.
I think what a lot of people like in Sugar Rush is actually genuinely good chemistry between the girls, which is actually, but like the things I like in Sugar Rush self like goes past the chemistry. The chemistry is fun to see, and they are having fun, but it's actually in also trying to do really interesting different things with the story and going different places. It don't have to make sense. It doesn't make sense. The
I
less sense
agree.
it makes sometimes, the better for me. Like that, in fact, like
I agree.
Mrs. A would say, like, third act juju, where the hell did an invisible car from? Who cares? It's like, it's fun. Like when he,
I agree.
like,
I agree.
this movie is not as good as Sugar Rush. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
definitely
I
not
agree.
competent,
I
but yeah.
don't think.
Where
I
Oyinka is
personally,
struggling is that this movie is not as good as anything at all that exists in any market or in any TV right now.
Yeah. I think
no,
It's
no,
not
no.
Objectively,
even
one of
That's
the
as
that's
good.
worst
not
It's
things
not
necessarily.
even
ever
as good as
created.
the bad YouTube films.
That's not
This
where.
is what this
That's
is what is
that's not where
progress.
I'm
Like, if I
struggling.
saw this movie on YouTube, I would still be a little
I
upset by the
agree.
fact that I had to watch
Me
it.
too.
Like that. No, I think that's not what's getting me upset. What's getting me upset is that this movie is about to cross the line of like being basic, and it drops the ball every time, and I don't see a reason for why it should be dropping that ball.
look, to me,
That's
like
just for me.
from the first shot, I knew this movie was going to be incompetent, and it stuck. It's very consistently bad.
Like
There's no,
it's close.
I,
It's you. It gets a 64. Like it's close to getting like a 55.
It's
You know,
64
you're just barely passing, but it's like a 64.5, and you're like,
for
what the
what?
fuck, man?
Not even
Six,
that.
but no,
Over
it's
what? Over 1,000? Like, what is this weighted on?
no, 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 no. You know, if you're in 100, 64 is 65 is passing. Like you just barely passed, right?
So you're saying this
For
movie
me,
falls short of just barely passing?
there are many like like the scene select for me. It's even like the scene, like how you choose to frame the scene, all those things. They were almost there.
Okay.
They were almost there, and they
That's two
never
different
get it.
opinions, respecting
They
everybody.
never get it. They never get it. They never get it. It was almost. How am I going to say? It almost looks like like somebody knows what they're doing, but they don't. But then they look incompetent. You get what I'm saying? There's sometimes when a movie starts and you're like, okay, this person is not going to do what you normally think a movie is, and you just throw out all your um, you just throw everything out. This movie clearly wants to be just a typical basic political trailer, political drama. And every single time it just doesn't it just doesn't land. And you're like, why are you not doing like the basic things? Like 2 + 2 = 4. You don't know 2 + 2 = 4? And you have all this money and you have this, and what is this? That's what's getting to me about the movie. Like, I
uh,
don't think a movie should make sense. I don't think any movies. I think the movie can be as avant-garde as possible. It can be as ridiculous as possible. That's the imagination of the human spirit. I don't go like I can go with a movie. This movie, I just couldn't like it. But it's okay. Some people like bad movies. I cannot watch a bad movie because I feel like I'm laughing at people's work,
oh,
especially if I feel like they put an hard work in it. So I cannot watch it.
I can
So
get that. That makes
I don't
sense.
get enjoyment from it. So I'm
That
the
makes
opposite
sense.
of you. I don't get enjoyment from it because it
Yeah,
will be
that,
like I'm
that
laughing at people's work.
that makes sense. And
You're just a good person to
yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's do summaries. I think. But
Okay. Am I first? Yeah.
yes, you are. You
Okay.
can.
My summary. Okay. Personally, I think that this movie, if you're like me, if you don't get enjoyment from watching movies like The Room, you probably should not watch this movie. Okay. But again, people can like the movie and you can find enjoyment in this movie. And it seems that this movie has found enjoyment in some people that are here. So give it 20 minutes. If you can't watch it in 20 minutes, I give it 35 minutes. You can switch it, like I did, to another movie. This movie just falls short of everything that it tries to do. That's what it is. It's okay. There are millions and millions of movies and TV shows from all over the world out there. You be good. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Yankans. Vanessa, do you want to give us a summary?
I don't even know anymore what to say. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I if if you like beautiful women playing at being Powerpuff Girls, only that they're not minors in a city that requires them to save the city, um, while dealing with what should be traumatic incidents in their lives, but was not touched upon and conveniently forgotten by themselves and the film as well. Um, while watching Uzo Arukwe with crochet braids slash dreads in his hair and pretending to be a fantastic assassin slash number one guy, go ahead with sounds of bullets dropping without guns shooting. Have a blast. If that's not the kind of thing that's up your alley, then don't put it on. Instead, watch hide and seek. It has beautiful people in it and guns that actually shoot. Kune Remi is sexy in this. So is Uche Montana. So watch hide and seek instead.
All right, thanks, Vanessa. It's funny, like that's a if I hadn't seen this film and I heard that description, I would be so ginger to watch this based on that
But then
description.
again, you are not the yardstick for like normal. Are
No,
you?
I'm not. I am absolutely not. But yes, it's good when you can give a description and people who can see what they like from it. All right. Atas, do you want to give us your summary?
If this movie scores more than 15% on NFC score next week, I will consider it a personal affront on my person because I I don't know. I just think it takes particular feet to score lower than Chief Daddy for me. Because up till this point, if you had asked me what the pinnacle of bad filmmaking was, I'd have said Chief Daddy 1 and 2, one better than 2. But this movie, I think, scores even lower than Chief Daddy 2 as a film. Um, it's a solid 10 over 100 for me. I would not watch this again. This is one of those movies that if someone was watching and I was there, I would actually stand up and turn off the TV because let's just watch the blank screen instead. It's an abomination and I would not recommend this at all.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Why don't we?
To each. Yeah. Worse than Chief Daddy 2. I can't stand behind that. I don't think anything is. All right. Omar, do you want to give us your summary?
Okay. I would just say that Nollywood writers should just try and they should kind of give soul to their writing, like they make us care about the characters. Even as this movie, as the motivation for this movie, the plots, the sexual assault, I really didn't care about any of the characters. Maybe it's because of the bad writing actually, or because of a lot was happening. But I really didn't care about the characters. I think it's something we could do better. Let us care about the characters. You know, maybe if you care about the characters, even if your third act is bad, we'll still be, okay, this movie is good. I really like what is happening in this movie, but when we don't care about the characters, we just be as if something just passed by and you don't even know what was that. So this movie, I don't know. I would kind of recommend it to someone that to people. There are some people in that they watch Nollywood. They just watch it to enjoy. They don't care whether the movie is bad or not. Especially YouTube fans, so they really
I
don't care.
want
So
you. We should not start with YouTube, please. I don't like this.
I take
I would
offense
recommend it
to
to YouTube
speaking on
fans,
YouTube.
people
Like,
that watch YouTube movies, people that don't care about whether a movie is bad or not. I would recommend it to Erika fans, people that love their Big Brother Niger.
ha!
Yeah, so I would recommend the movies to them. But someone that will watch a movie with their brain open, someone that is smart, I would
Ha!
never recommend this movie to someone that is smart. I would never. But people that I'm not saying people that are not smart. I'm saying people that they don't care whether the movie is bad or not. So I would recommend the movie to them. So that's all I have to say.
So
Wow.
I see that we're being Rome to cartilage. We are going to salt the ground and make sure we destroy the city completely to never exist anymore. It's cool. I am not with you, but it's cool.
You open ground. All right, people cooking. All right. I think it's Ada, your summary.
Yeah, I love how the last speaker was trying to give tips. I think don't do that. I think the only thing you should do is take that, that Men in Black memory eraser thing, use that on yourself and just forget that the movie happened. No point giving tips on how to improve it. I think, I forgot to mention, sorry, quickly, one like is when Erica's mom was dying, the nurse or doctor, I don't know what she was, she just walked in, she didn't do anything. She said, there's nothing we can do. No, she just shook her head. So she didn't even try to save her, revive her, do something, call someone else, nothing. So I think that's a good thing because I didn't realize those are the extent of the skills in the medical field. And now that's reignited my passion for medicine. So I'm going to be enrolling. So I'm really grateful for this movie, for that. But in general, my summary is, I think this is kind of a bad movie, but it's the worst kind of bad movie because it pretends not to be bad. There's other movies that I've mentioned in the past that I just didn't even finish. I think the movie makers knew it was bad as they were making it. They knew when they were releasing it. They knew that the audience knew when they was watching it. Yeah, we all knew it was bad. This kind of tries to pretend or tries to tell us that it's not bad. It's addressing things and it has a plot and it has characters, blah blah, but it's not. And so I was still kind of like invested in the plot to see where's this going, what they're going to do, where's this going, and the answer is it carry me go where I don't know. So I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. It's not the type of bad movie that you can still recommend. I think it's the type of bad movie that you get cussed out if you recommended it to someone. So yeah, I don't think I would recommend it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think these people just need to watch this movie with the C's. I think they'd have more
I
fun.
think y'all would have fun if you watch this with us.
Hey,
Let's drop our address. Y'all pull up.
Do you remember when that nurse actually when the nurse Erica's
fighting her laugh.
Erica's crying.
This is what I mean.
Holding a
This is
laugh.
what I mean. This is what I mean by 64.5. Like they knew to have a nurse and a doctor. But the nurse and the doctor does
64.5.
nothing.
Literally.
Does nothing. They didn't even do nothing. Like they spent, you have to spend money. Like they spent money for extras. They spent money. They spent that money for those people to be there. And then they did nothing.
I just said the nurses came in.
You guys said you hired people, and that's already 60%. Congratulations on hiring.
They die. The mom dies in the scene. Everyone comes in like, well, she's dying.
I was so shocked. I was like, at least pretend to do something. This is an acting move. You can act to pretend like you do something.
Why would you pretend to do something? It's not a good film, man.
Is anybody a nurse?
Anyway.
Is anybody a nurse? Only a nurse should come and say what they did was wrong. Is what I'm saying.
I did biology, man. I worked in the outfield before I went into education.
She looked around the room, saw the woman was already dying, and said, "Let me not waste my time."
How do you think there was no sonogram? There was no try to revive. There was no CPR. There was just nothing. And I was just really confused.
Can I just say one more thing?
Just do your bad. Can I just say one more thing? Let's go away from here.
I'm just saying the nurse probably overheard them saying they are taking the land and they knew these people could not pay these bills.
And she was
They
like,
let the
"No, we
woman go.
can't take it further." Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say I watched this film with the right expectations. I expected something that would be so bad it's good. And it was so bad it was good. Brilliant. Special thanks to Erica's heels. I would absolutely recommend if everyone wore heels and I thought, okay, maybe this was a choice, but everyone else wore trainers, so that was a choice.
Like she could walk well.
I don't know. Maybe on set that day they didn't have trainers her size. I don't know how she ended up in heels. And we saw everyone else's feet. They showed us everyone's feet. We saw Uzoaruque's feet. We saw Linda's feet. And we saw Efe's feet. And then we saw her in heels. Like that, there has to be like a plot point around that, and they just left it on the cutting room floor. Yeah. That's what I maintain. But anyway, this was so bad it's good. It was a ride. I had a migraine all day, and I watched this, and it gave me some joy. So big ups.
All right. Okay. Ditto what Mrs. C said. Yeah, that's about it for me. I loved the experience, and yeah, I think. If you're going to give me a film, try a bunch of new things. Yeah, I think that's the worst. For me, the worst kind of film is just something that is both safe and bad. Yeah, those are the things I can't stand because like there's nothing for me.
Here?
Sorry, what?
What was the thing that was tried that was new here?
Eric, have you seen Erica? Have you seen someone in jumpsuits and heels fight? Did you miss the last half hour? Did you miss the last half hour?
But Nollywood does bad actors fighting all the time. Like
no, in heels and a jumpsuit. In heels and a jumpsuit.
And it's the heels part.
Okay. Guys, are you forgetting that in Transformers, Megan Fox? No, her name is Megan Fox. Okay, Megan Fox is the white one. Was the one she was running in heels? Okay, yeah. She was running in heels. So there is nothing really new here.
Okay, number one, I said in Nollywood.
I've done running in heels as well. Like
a lot of the Nollywood babes in those babes movies were running in heels.
In what? Then it's not running in heels. They
were running from ritualists in heels. They were running from ritualistic heels, man.
You keep on mentioning something I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about running in heels. I don't care about running in heels. I'm talking about doing kung fu in heels, especially heels you're not comfortable in and you cannot walk in.
How popular that is in movies?
Imagine you're trying to die on my heel, the heel that I create. I don't know what you're doing on this hill. Leave my space alone. If you didn't get
me, you're right. Forgive me. I you've corrected me. I stand corrected.
Drag him. He's saying no. What are you talking about? You're right.
No, let him build the hill. The hill about this movie is trying new things because there's a woman running in heels in an action movie. Like that's the first time ever. But it's okay.
I didn't say running. You keep on mishearing. I don't know.
Or doing kung fu in heels because that's the first time ever. It's okay. The movie is trying new things. Like they didn't copy that from kung fu movies from Hong Kong and all that stuff.
I've muted everybody. It's been long. It's been so long. All right. Anyway, but yeah, the general gist is it did things that I thought were fun and I enjoyed. A bunch of things I mentioned in the film, and I wish more movies attempted stuff, especially with the camera movements and the sound design. The incompetence is what is mostly funny, but like yes, I if you don't enjoy that kind of thing, it's not going to be for you. But if you do enjoy this kind of things, yeah, have at it. All right. Okay. So next week we'll do Vanessa's pick since she's been crying about it.
Don't put this on me. My G, don't put this on me. Just say the only film that we have to watch because there's nothing on streamers. Why is this Vanessa's pick?
It's so difficult to be the one people blame.
No, I genuinely think you take this. Yes, last week you were Vanessa's pick. Now this week that's you force a devil in Agbada down our throat like hot
How
like
does
hot
that work?
akamu.
You
Then
vote out, but
Meg,
you
you gave us this movie to vote on twice.
twice, you gave us
It
devil in
was
Agbada twice.
strongly
All because
pushed.
you
In fact,
wanted
I'm
devil
now
in Agbada
beginning
to
to
win.
think other things.
I just want to say, since you have the power of the mute
I mute
button, and
everybody. Thank you. I do. I almost forgot. I do have the power of the mute button. Yes. Next week will be. I'll put up a poll. In case. In fact, I'll put up an open floor, and you guys can decide if you want to. If you want to be brave to pick a movie that you think everybody should watch.
I
Even
want you
that.
to be brave and pick a film.
excuse
Oh,
me,
I don't mind that. I'll meet everybody again.
responsibility
No, I
that
will meet
came
everybody
with
again.
the power of the mute button is that you are the leader, and therefore you should get blamed for everything.
Yeah,
Since you want the power of the mute button and use it anyhow, then it
that's true.
comes with a responsibility.
That
Okay.
is true. That is true. All right. Okay. Anyway, but that's what we're going to be doing next week. So we'll see. So that you guys can blame me for whatever we're watching next week.
We're going to
I
blame
can
you.
meet you. I can
Bye.
meet you if I want. All right. Okay. Thanks, guys.
everyone.
All right.
This was fun.
Bye bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at Iroko Critic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.